free does not equal freedom. This is a rice field in Arkansas. Thanks to 2,500 mostly family-owned rice farms, Arkansas produces more rice than any other state in America. Rice contributes billions to the Arkansas economy and accounts for 25,000 jobs. Arkansas also has one of the highest poverty rates in the United States, with 1 in 6 living below the poverty line. Now, let's imagine the country of Haiti wants to help Arkansas reduce poverty and feed its poor. Incentivized by its government, Haiti's rice farmers flood Arkansas with millions of tons of free rice. As Haiti's free rice swamps Arkansas, what happens to the market price Arkansas family farmers receive for their rice? Free Haiti rice in Arkansas would no doubt cause harm to local farmers and the jobs they create. And yet, that is exactly what well-meaning international aid agencies, you know the names of, have done to countries across Africa for decades. Free rice, depressing the local price of rice for hardworking farmers like Afama. Free shoes, putting local shoemakers out of business. Free animals, shutting down local animal traders like Joweria. Free does not equal freedom from poverty, not in Arkansas and not in sub-Saharan Africa, where you find the world's concentration of people living in extreme poverty. Free does not transfer wealth to the poor. It disrupts local economies, snuffs out the entrepreneurial spirit, and creates dependency by reinforcing an internal narrative of helplessness. Now, I'm not saying all free aid is bad. As responsible global citizens, we must provide short-term emergency aid to those impacted by natural disaster, political crisis, and war. However, as is the case with Haiti, if 11 years after the earthquake, we are still providing its government hundreds of millions in aid dollars and handing out free rice to 500,000 children every day, we have not helped, we have harmed, and we have created no freedom from extreme poverty. But what if we could make a small change to our approach to ending poverty that would create big impact? It is to the idea there is a better way to end poverty I have dedicated the last 17 years of my life. I grew up below the poverty line in this farmhouse in South Central Kansas. It was here I learned if you don't have food, you grow it. If you don't have a job, you create one. And if you can't afford new clothes, you hit your local garage sale and create your own, can we just agree, interesting style? You can then imagine my shame when, as a young student holding down 3 part-time jobs, poverty forced me onto food stamps for about a year. Similar to today, my food stamps had rules. The stamps were free, but I had to have a job. My old school tearaway food stamps meant there was no way to buy groceries without my poverty being noticed. The judgmental looks, the head shakes. My smile masked how poor, powerless, and broken free made me feel. 20 years and a successful career later, I knew ending poverty with dignity throughout the world would be my cause. With no college education, I did not yet fully understand the colonial culture funding global aid agencies and the foundation of free on which they were built, nor the magnitude of damage free had already done throughout Africa. I would quickly learn the painful truth. Colonial ideas of free had not created freedom, but instead had broken trust. I visited village after village to learn what was broken, what was working, and what we could do better. I met thousands of talented artisans and immediately spotted the damage done by free aid. I knew that look, and I felt their broken spirits. Free aid had taught them you must present yourself as poor and powerless and broken to the foreigner. And if you weren't pathetic enough, you wouldn't receive help. Those were the rules. And together with determined African women like Sarah Tomasuza, one small change at a time, we broke every colonial rule on which free aid was built and built new pathways of trust based on equal partnership. We started by tapping into the heritage artisan skills throughout Africa, paying artisans 2.5 times fair trade, what we call a prosperity wage. We cut out the middlemen and put money directly into the hands of the poor. No aid agencies, no government. And when I asked a Nobel Economic Laureate what he thought of my direct wealth plan, he said, if I continued to put cash into the hands of poor women like these, they would just throw it on the ground because they did not know what to do with money. Despite his Nobel Prize, my life experience told me that man was wrong. I watched artisans like Mimuna Salifu steward her prosperity wages to start her village's first general store, saving women hours walking to town for basic necessities like soap, rice, and salt, and reinvest her profits to build a brick and mortar store. But if free shoes, free clothes, and free rice come to Mimuna's village tomorrow, her small general store goes out of business. Of all the small changes we made to the age-old idea of buying handicraft from the poor, the most important was yet to come. In 2013, we began requiring every artisan start 3 small businesses, generating 3 income streams beyond their handicraft. We also developed a unique screening tool to help us find the poorest, most entrepreneurial artisans. And today, we guarantee we will purchase 10 of their products a month for 3 years, an investment of about $3,000. Our 10x3 formula solidified, shifting power to the poor and generating wealth through 3 streams of income like cows, goats, and sheep, permanently changing their internal narrative. Our formula has been replicated in 8 countries on 3 continents and proven successful no matter ethnicity, gender, or culture. And it will continue to instill confidence and pride in economies where free rice, free clothes, and free animals don't threaten local entrepreneurs like Nirmal and Shulata. The global success of 10x3 means it will also work in Arkansas and in your life. I know because I practice our 3 income stream formula in my life. Using your current income, what steps will you take today to start creating 3 additional streams of income using the skills and talents you already have or can acquire? Join the movement to end colonial era free aid. Make purchases that support small entrepreneurs and insist your philanthropy dollars be used to build wealth through models like 10x3. Together, this small change will shift the power to the poor, reversing the damage done by free aid and ensuring every human experiences sustainable economic freedom.